All right. So, hello everyone. Welcome to our first ever product webinar, Decoding Adyogi platform. We are excited to have you all here. I hope you've had a sizable lunch because you are about to have a super informative session with our product team here. So, to introduce myself, I am Muskan and I'll be your host for today. As panelists, we have Pranav, team lead of the Adyogi product team. Sriram, a lead product manager at Adyogi, and of course, Anshuk, the co-founder of Adyogi. So without any further ado, let's set the agenda for today. Pranav will be taking you through some key feature updates on the Adyogi platform along with their use cases, post which we will have a Q&A session wherein you can send in your questions and your queries related to the webinar or otherwise in the chat box or in the Q&A box. So hope you enjoy the session. Over to you, Pranav.
Thank you, Muskan, and a very warm welcome to all of you. We welcome you wholeheartedly to the first ever webinar that Adyogi is hosting for decoding the Adyogi platform. The idea and the tone of this entire webinar is to make the process as immersive, intuitive, and descriptive as possible, and with the concept that you derive value out of this entire webinar. Now, we'll be taking you through each of the features that will add value to your entire marketing needs, with the hope that you derive the correct concept out of it, and we'll be taking it each slide separately. Now, the idea is to make sure that each segment has to be taken very interactively so that you get a better understanding as what we are trying to convey out of it. Then without further ado, let's jump into it. Decoding the Adyogi platform. Let's pick up the first feature that we have in store for you, that is Performance Max. Now, Performance Max as a concept was Google's answer to using its native API or this native intelligence to attend all your marketing needs. Now, with the complexities that Google has derived into those specific campaigns, it actually fell back upon us to sort of simplify the entire process and to make the process as easy and as simple for you as possible. Now, within Performance Max, we have a concept of listing groups and asset groups, which we'll be taking up right next post this. Now, for that, let's just go back to the app itself. Now, this is the Performance Max campaign on the Adyogi platform. In order to reach the point, just go to this Create Launcher engine. Under Campaigns, you can click on Performance Max. And the moment you click on Performance Max, you land on the campaign section where you create a basic campaign. And post that, we come to the asset group section. Now, asset group is a collection of your ad copies, logos, ad descriptions, landing page URLs, and so hence and so forth, which all cumulatively combine to give you one asset group. Now, within Adyogi, we have devised a plan to create asset groups into two segments separately, which could be the listing group and the asset group and listing group. Picking up the listing group. Now, listing group as a concept is a very seamless and simple process of launching your PMAX campaigns. It is a direct procedure where you do not need to have a lot of assets, where let's say the use case being that it's the basic ease of use where you want to start launching a PMAX on the go. And for those clients where let's say having the entire section of your asset groups where you're having very high or rich ad copies, ad text is a difficult process. So for those who want to pick up a very simple integrated process of launching PMAX on the go and allowing Google to pick up the native automations, the listing group section does best for you. Now, within that, under the listing group, we have the option of creating an asset where you just need to select a specific listing group which you want to select, which in this case could be your product feed. Now, this product feed is directly connected to your merchant center. The idea of having this is to make sure that whenever somebody creates a listing group based PMAX campaign, the moment you click on a product that Google is serving to your specific audiences, it directly lands you on the category or the product page. Now, one of the basic concepts and the value addition out of it is that you need to have a very good feed in order to connect the PMAX campaign and create a listing group. And that's a very easy process for you. Just have a good feed and post that whenever you launch, it directly lands you to a specific product page. Now, within that, from the Adyogi panel itself, you can select whatever categories you want to select or include. And within that, you can select it, exclude those specific categories, and then type the name, and then you're good to go. Now, within that, we'll pick up those products directly from your feed and then launch that campaign. And then with the power that Adyogi has taken up and Google's native intelligence, you have your PMAX campaign ready. Coming to the asset group, within the asset group, you can select a campaign. Now, within that, you have the option of adding your listing group where you select the listing groups. And post that, you can select your audience signals that you want to comprehend. Upload a bunch of your ad copies, your landing page URLs, headline descriptions, and a specific YouTube link, and then create your asset group. Just to give you the concept of the value that you can drive out of it and what's the basic notion of having these two type of options is for, let's say, in case if you have a sale-based structure going on where you want to create a PMAX campaign to promote a specific sale. Now, creating a listing group is an easier and a better process where you can sort of directly link your product pages to your feed. And the moment somebody clicks on that specific product, they land directly on the sale page or the product that promotes that specific sale. In case, let's say, if you have an asset group where you're promoting a sale, a banner that leads you to a basic landing URL page would not serve you that purpose. So for that purposes, listing group is a very easy process for upcoming brands where they want to start using the power of Google to automate their entire marketing process. With the asset group, the best use case of having an asset group is to, when you have an asset group and you have combined all the data for the asset group, you create a basic targeted approach for Google to take and start optimizing your campaigns for. So the more number of assets and the better number of assets that you add to your asset groups, the better your targeting is, the better your optimization efficiency that Google attains when you're picking up those specific asset groups. And again, with the power of audience signal that we have unveiled on the platform, the optimization that Google needs to perform in order to launch a PMAX campaign just many-fold. So basis your marketing approach and basis whatever strategy you think should fit your marketing needs, PMAX campaign is a one-stop solution where you want to instantly start for your Google-based campaigns. Just as a word of notion, when you're selecting the asset groups, Google serves these campaigns and these your assets across all the Google supported websites and platforms. So it could be across multiple placements, it could be across multiple websites. When you're selecting listing group, only Google supported websites, or let's say Google supported assets are only published for the listing group itself. In case of asset group, it can, let's say, also go to non-supported websites and then non-supported assets as well. So in order to sort of use the power of PMAX, it's better that you come to the platform and start with the listing group for a small and emerging brands. In case if it's big brands where you have a good context and a large number of rich assets, it's better you start with the asset group and listing group itself. Now, coming to the second part, which gives you, let's say, the power to use it, is the granular analysis, which we have made more actionable on the Adyogi panel itself. Coming to the campaign analysis page, where you can directly go to the campaign and asset. Within that, you have the campaign analysis page. Now, within this page, we understand that the marketing ecosystem is a very complex structure where you have your organic campaigns that have been created on the platform itself, as well as the managed campaigns that the clients has created on the Adyogi panel itself. Now, in order to understand the entire marketing funnel, it is very important that we have a complete visibility on the entire marketing structure of the client. Now, in order to harness that, we have introduced the concept of ownership or campaign ownership on the Adyogi panel itself. Right the moment you onboard yourself on the Adyogi panel, we pick up all the campaigns that you have created or the native campaigns that you created on the Meta platform, and we import it back into the Adyogi panel system. What you see right before you is the concept of the campaign list page, where you have like all the campaigns and your structure within itself. Now, let's say in case if I go to my non-managed assets, so within the campaign ownership, you have the option of managed versus non-managed. The moment you click on non-managed, you land on the pages that are non-managed by the Adyogi platform, or those that have been pulled from the client's organic platform, which is Meta in this case. And within that, you can see all the campaigns and the targeted data that we have. So the idea of this specific page is to make sure that the actionability within the Adyogi platform increases to an extent. With the correct amount of data that you have, you can perform certain actions, which essentially means that you can sort of pause and enable your campaigns that have been performing better. So let's say in case if I go to my managed assets, now within that, I have my campaigns where I can see the data for the last number of days. And then I select the funnel as to what exactly the funnel that I'm targeting my data for. Now, based that and based the data that I have backed on the platform itself, I can take certain actions and then, do that. In order to make the process more easy and more simple and to create a nested-like structure like what Meta promotes, we have also allowed the cross-linking of campaigns with respective assets. So let's say the moment you land on the campaign analysis page, post that, you can click on the catalog sales campaign, and it will lead you directly to the ad set page, which specifically corresponds to that specific campaign. So going forward, the moment you click on any specific campaign, it will lead you to a page that directs what specific assets are within that specific campaign. And basis that, you can take certain actions where you want to pause, enable those specific campaigns. Coming back to the native structure, you can also select your non-managed campaigns, and with that linking as well, we've provided the linking where you can click on certain campaign and land on the ad set page. So as a future prospect, we are in the process of creating a more nested structure where we'll be incorporating more ad level details into your ad set level detail. So that at the whole, when you log into the Adyogi platform, you have a complete comprehensive view of how the entire marketing funnel is going upon. Now, this also is a promotion that we're doing for both the platforms. That's basically platform agnostic, where we do it both for Meta as well as Google structure itself. Now, one of the basic use cases of this is to have a complete holistic and oversight view of the entire marketing structure that the client has been promoting on its on his or her Meta platform. The idea is to make sure that you have a complete visibility and whatever actions that you're taking are primarily data-based actions. Moving ahead, part of the granular analysis and the actionability, we have something which is the audience overlap. Now, understanding, just taking a step back, let's understand what is the concept of an audience and what is the concept of an audience and why audience overlap is an important step. Whenever we are trying to launch any creative assets or let's say campaigns on the Meta platform, there's an auction that happens where each specific brand targets an auctions for a specific set of audience that needs to be targeted. Now, since these are very niche-based audiences, we want to ensure that amongst the competition that is happening on the Meta platform, the internal competition should be as minimum or as low as possible, next to negligible. The idea is to make sure that this does not create inefficiency within your marketing campaigns. The idea is also to ensure that it does not drive up cost for your other campaigns, which are sort of targeting for the same set of audiences. In totality, if I talk about the audience overlap, it's basically a structure where we do not want your ad sets to be targeting the same set of audiences, where one of the ad sets will be starved of the performance with costs going in and conversions coming very low. So in order to tackle that feedback, and that again is a very industry-wide issue that we have been getting, and we have been receiving a lot of feedback to incorporate that feature. So henceforth, we came out with a solution of targeting your active personas. Jumping right into it, within the ad set page, which again you can access from the ad set section on the creative engine, you can come to the persona, and within that you have this option which says the active in. Now, whatever active in number that you see is this basically means that the persona shopper for now is currently active in one ad set. And by active, we mean that this specific ad set is also active. So let's say in case if you have 5 ad sets where persona shoppers have been used, and out of those 5 ad sets, 4 ad sets are in pause state, or let's say paused or deleted by the client or yourself. So we'll only pick up those active ad sets where the specific persona is in use. Essentially telling you that first, that this persona is currently in use, and you might want to sort of target another set of audiences. And secondly, it also gives you the option that whatever holistic personas or industry benchmark personas that we have created on the Adyogi panel, you have the option of selecting those personas as well. As a side note, we have also introduced the Mother's Day personas and event-based personas itself. So under the event category filter, you can select the event, where we have completely integrated an event-based structure. And recently for the Mother's Day, that is again down the corner, we have completely integrated a Mother's Day pack within the Adyogi platform, where you would be able to see these personas that are targeting Mother's Day, the gifting personas. In the Google, you have these custom intent audiences that target Mother's Day keywords. And for that, we've also introduced overlays within the panel itself, where you can select a specific overlay, and then you can sort of promote Mother's Day. Now, this gives you a very good concept as to selecting the right set of audiences without leading to internal competition. And as you all know, audience targeting happens to be one of those areas where the moment you crack the correct set of audience that needs to be targeted, your performance and efficiency drives up. So in order to prevent that internal competition of your assets fighting the same set of audiences, this feature actively helps you to segregate your audiences and pick up those audiences that are currently not in use, and also to explore the option where you can set up, pick up a rather more niche set of audiences if they have not been used in any of your specific assets. Jumping right next to the new feature, which is basically your easily managing your imported assets. Now, as we all know that, again, looping back to the previous explanation, within your entire marketing structure, you have a set of campaigns that are organic and native, as well as those that have been imported from the Meta platform itself. Now, under the section, if you go to the campaign manager under the campaign and assets, post onboarding, they're automatically pulling all your campaigns that you have on the platform back into the system. Now, under the campaign list page, you have an understanding that these are all your managed campaigns. And going forward, within the filters that we have, you can click on the more filters, and under that we have something called campaign ownership. Now, you can select the both managed, which includes both your campaigns that have part of the Adyogi ecosystem and those that have been imported. In order to identify those imported ones, we can pick up the imported icon that we have put against each campaign. Now, the idea for this is the ease of use that you have on the Adyogi platform itself. We want to unveil the power of making the complex systems of the marketing easy on the platform to be used. So coming forward on the campaign list page, you can select a specific campaign, and with the imported campaigns right next to it, and basis the filter that you can select, you can pick up any of the specific campaigns, take certain actions on these specific campaigns. So let's say in case if you have an organic campaign that has been built on the Adyogi platform, we have a wide range of action that can be taken upon in terms of efficiency, optimization, budget change, and so hence and so forth. But in order to have the full power of managing and using those non-organic or the imported campaigns on the Adyogi platform, we have allowed a list of developments that you can do on these specific campaigns. So for this case, you can sort of enable and pause the specific campaign. You can change the specific budget for these campaigns. So wherever budget has been set at a campaign or an ad set level, we can change the specific budgets as well. And as a power, and as a power that you want to give to the audience that are part of the Adyogi ecosystem, we've also allowed cross-population of ads within the imported as well as the non-imported campaigns. So up till now, there was a vertical integration where imported, where your organic ads could be populated into your organic campaigns, and on the Meta platform, you could have done vice versa for the native campaigns. But in order to sort of cross-populate, so that power has been unveiled on the Adyogi panel itself. So let's say in case if there are certain sale-based creative that you want to promote into your organic as well as in your imported campaigns. Now that becomes a very easy process where let's say you pick up a specific campaign and under that you can click on populate ads into campaign. Now it leads you to the page where we allow you to populate both set of creatives into the campaign. Now, how do you pick up that? You just need to click on the platform, and within that, you can select either those creatives or ads that have been created on the Adyogi panel, or you can pick up the imported ads which have been created on Meta's platform itself. Now, with this option, you have the power to create highly engaging ads and creatives, and then allow cross-population across the entire range of campaigns that we have on the Adyogi panel, keeping in mind that we have been pulling all that data back into the platform so that you can have more actionable insights and more holistic view as to what is happening in the entire marketing structure. Again, this should give you that fluidity to manage all your campaigns at one go from the panel itself without having the need context switch between multiple platforms itself. Coming to the next structure, which is essentially, I think Muskan would want to take up the poll.
So what was your favorite feature till now? You can just post whichever feature you liked up till now and let us know. All right, we can go ahead.
Surely. So these were the features that we have launched on the panel basis, whatever the feedback that we've received. Oh, and I see, I think Performance Max again tops the list, and we were hoping for the same as well. It is indeed a powerful feature that we would want to, pick for you to pick up and sort of unveil the Google structure or the Google power from the Adyogi panel itself. Now, moving forward, these are the features that we develop. But there are certain features, existing features that will add more value or more efficiency to your existing marketing structures. Going forward with that, we would want to pick up the value addition feature, which is the smart ads, which happens to be one of the key features that we promote on the Adyogi panel itself. Now, smart ads are basically the answer to picking up the right set of niche product sets that you want to target your specific customers for. Now, with the concept of smart ads, you have the power to create your niche theme-based or segment-based product sets and then promote those specific product sets to a wide range of audience. The idea is to make sure that the entire process becomes as intelligent as possible and as efficient as possible. Jumping right to the product set within the Adyogi panel itself, you can click on create and land on the Facebook smart ad structure. Now, the entire smart ad structure is to make sure that you pick up the process that we have on the Adyogi panel. We have been having multiple data pointers and multiple data structures where we pick up data and then we use the industry benchmark knowledge that we have. And with the help of those data points and those industry benchmarks, we have devised a set of logics that we think and promote the best set of products for you on the platform itself. Now, within the panel itself, till very recently, we were allowing either multiple or either vertical or horizontal integration of product sets where you can create a product set within the vertical structure, or you can create a product set within the Adyogi logic, which runs horizontal across multiple product sets. But with the new smart ad feature that we have unveiled, you also allow diagonal creation of product sets where you can pick up very high value product sets. So let's say theme-based product sets from your website category and then define those logics using the Adyogi category. Diving right into it. Whenever you want to create a product set, we have certain rules that you can set or pick to create your specific product sets. Now, under your website category, where you pick up products or categories directly from a website, you can select a specific product set. So in this case, I've selected a category such as kurta. And again, we pick up all those categories. You can select, let's say, any specific category. And now within that, we have another Adyogi logic, which sort of segments your products or let's say your website categories into a more niche-based product sets for the right target. So now for that, let's say if you have created the most viewed product sets or products that have been most viewed on the from your brand. Now with that, we have created a product set that has a most viewed concept or logic basis the industry benchmark and against within the Kurta set. Now, one of the basic use cases of using the smart ad feature on the Adyogi panel itself. So let's say in case if you have a very wide range of catalogs, which your product and a catalog can contain, let's say 1,000 or more products. Now, if you use that entire product set and then, you run an ad from Facebook itself, then Facebook may use its own logic to pick up those products and serve those products to a specific set of audiences. But then that may not lead to that level of efficiency that you would want to achieve in terms of, let's say, targeting a specific theme-based product set. Now, with the power of Adyogi, you can create an Adyogi category logic where you can select, let's say, the most viewed, which is your top most viewed products, or let's say your high value product, which depends upon the price of your products, or top selling, which is the most selling products. This is the number of sales that we have achieved for that specific product or that specific category. You can select that specific product. You can define the logic that we have derived out of the data pointers that we have been amassing over the course of this time. And with that, you can create a very niche-based product set and then unveil the power of using that specific product set. Now, this allows you to override your existing or the concept of redundant products being part of your products. And this, again, is a feature that auto-refreshes itself very frequently. So with that, we do not have the product redundancy where a product happens to be in a product set without having served its purpose or without falling in that specific zone. So let's say in case if I've selected a high-value product, or let's say in case I've selected a top-selling product, my product refreshes according to the sale that is happening for my specific product within that specific category. So with that, you unveil the power of understanding as to how you want to auto refresh your product sets without having the redundancy creep into your products and driving your performance low. So definitely give your products and give the smart ads a try where, we have a lot of intelligent features coming up, and with the current structure that we have, your product sets become more intelligent and more efficient, and it becomes more easy for you to have a title integration from the Adyogi logic to your website category. Jumping right ahead, we have the audience segment where we have an integrated audience segment within the Adyogi panel itself. Now, as we know, that audience happens to be that logic where if you crack that logic, it's performance driver. And with the current set of logics and the current set of audiences that are currently sporading in the marketing space, it is very important that we have a right set of integrated audiences on the Adyogi panel itself. So without complexing and the entire structure, we have incorporated solution where we have built an entire audience segment for you to choose the right set of audiences for your specific marketing needs. Going to the Adyogi panel itself, on the sidebar, you have something which is an audience builder, which is an integrated solution to managing your audience-based needs. Picking right up, we have a certain segments of audiences where we have defined the audiences, which is certain categories on which we base our, or the data pointers we pick up our audiences from. So for starters, we have a website-based audiences. So those audiences or people who have visited your website or have taken certain action on your specific website. So these could be people who could be your content viewers, your engagers, promoters, or people who have been purchasing from you for the past several times. So you can select the right set of audiences and you can use the specific audiences within the ad set page to pick up the right set of audiences and target your specific ad sets. Then we have the order bidder based audiences. And again, this is a very important set of segment of audiences where we have people who have already engaged with a brand and who are our loyal customers or loyal purchasers, or let's say people who have a history of being part of our brand. Now within that, and we'll explore this section a little bit more to understand what's the use case of an order database audiences. But these are people who have purchased from a specific website. Now, these could be people who have actively purchased, who were like once your purchasers or lifetime purchasers, coupon fix, discounters, so hence and so forth. And we'll pick it up and we'll understand how this value or this logic adds up to your marketing needs. Suppose that we have your engagement-based people, audiences who have engaged with your content online, whether it could be a Facebook page, whether it could be your Instagram page, your video reels. Suppose that we have your interest base or these personas or these targeted intended audiences that correspond to a specific interest. So let's say this could be your shoppers, clothing, discount, fashion, demographics, so hence and so forth. And then the last is the category-based audiences, which is your website-based categories. And those audiences have been defined within a specific category. So those people who've engaged with that specific product category have been listed under them as the audience category. Now, the reason that we are stressing upon the concept of an audience is to make sure that you select the right set of audiences while managing your targeting needs. So understanding how does an audience or what type of an audience will help you suit better, let's pick up the order data-based audiences. Now, under the ad set page, you can click on lookalike. And within that, you have the order data-based audience where we have pick up your audience and sort of segregated basis your dormant repeat purchases, active purchases, lifetime high value. before we deep dive into the segment of audiences that we have, let's understand the power of using this type of audiences. The power is to create a lookalike of these targeted audiences. Now, with the audience that we have already engaged with the brand, we wanted to create a lookalike of these niche segment of audiences who are part of the ecosystem with the same habits of the audience that we're trying to create a lookalike for. So in this case, let's say if I create a lookalike with a specific ratio of 1%, that is the closest combination to my earlier or the base audience. I can pick up my dormant repeat purchases versus my active repeat purchases. So your active repeat purchases are the promoters for your website who have bought more than once from your website in the past 6 months. And if I pick up, let's say, my dormant repeat purchases, these are my loyal promoters who were part of my ecosystem and who were purchasing from my website before the 6 months where my active repeat purchases crept in. So basis that and basis understanding the logic as to how do I want to target my specific audiences, basis the interaction that they had with my website, I can select a set of audiences and I can pick up those specific audiences and target them. So let's say in case if I want to pick up only the repeat purchases, I can either go for the active repeat purchases, dormant repeat purchases, or in that case, I could have also opt in for lifetime repeat purchases. So one of the basic concepts of having this repeat purchases is to increase the lifetime value of the customer that they derive out of your website. Now, post that, let's say in case if you have a sale coming up, or let's say if it's an event space coming up, or let's say in case if you have an old inventory where you want to offload that inventory, and you know that we have a set of audiences that cater very specifically to discounts or coupons. And if you are planning to put those discounts on those specific inventory that you want to offload, you can always come to the Adyogi dashboard and select the lifetime discount hunters or the lifetime coupon freaks, where you know that these are the people who would be having a high intent to purchase from your website basis the discount or the coupon that we're providing on the website, or let's say any specific sale that we're providing on the website. So with the power of using this specific order database audiences, where we pick up the data from your Shopify, Magento, and WooCommerce platform, we have created a very niche segment of audiences which can cater to your specific targeting needs, where you're trying to create an ad set and promote that specific structure. So with that in mind, we have completed the presentation in terms of the products that we have to offer, as well as the value that we're trying to drive out of the Adyogi panel itself. But that's not all, because we know that with Adyogi, you can always expect the unexpected, where you're trying to sort of match the marketing space and attain it as much as it's possible. So we do have a couple of features that are currently in the product conceptualization, which we'll be unveiling very soon. Now, with the new features that are currently in line, we have something called, which is an hourly ABO for efficient campaign optimization. And we do understand that we want to manage the campaigns as efficiently and as optimized as possible. Now, with that in mind, Adyogi has taken upon itself to create a structure of optimization where we allow the budgeting of your campaigns based on certain benchmark criteria that you can set on the Adyogi panel itself, which leaves you much room to manage the marketing strategy for your client. So with that in mind, an hourly ABO has been launched, which allows you to hourly optimize your campaigns based on certain benchmarks that you would want to set at each client level. Post that, we have also introducing the concept of competitor targeting using brand maps. Now, in order to target your competitors in a specific segment, category, subcategory, or let's say in case of gender itself, new and emerging brands and as well as old and big brands can now start targeting their competitors and audience that specifically cater or have an intent to tilt towards their competitors using the competitor targeting. Within that, will allow you to sort of pick up those specific audiences that are part of your competitors ecosystem, and then pick up and create an audience and then target those specific audiences from the Adyogi panel itself. And the last feature that we do want to pick up is the GA4 data integration. And now we know that since Google has launched the GA4 with a high level of audience intent, segmentation, insights, and its own native AI capacities, with that in mind, we have allowed the GA4 integration back into the Adyogi panel itself, where very soon we'll be unveiling the GA4 data integration from the system, where you can now view your data for all your GA views using the GA4 data that we are pulling from the platform itself. So that is the current roadmap, and I think you should be watching out for this space more, where we'll be unveiling the new set of features that we have and picking up the features that and where we are leaving you off right now. Thank you, guys. Over to you, Muskan.
All right. So as you guys already know that we have launched Adyogi community recently to basically create an environment of learning and unlearning the concepts, myths, and questions related to performance marketing. So we have a wide range of people in the community, starting from experts, enthusiasts, founders, and partners to answer any query that you have. And in addition to just answering queries, we also have a lot of industry-based insights that we keep sharing on a regular basis. You can find optimization tips on the Adyogi community. You can find updates regarding our Adyogi platform. So the homepage will give you access to all the things we post, and we also keep you updated through emails. So whenever someone makes a post on any of the groups on the Adyogi community, you will be receiving an email from our end, and you can also join specific groups for specific information. So you can have also, in addition to this, you can have free access to ebooks and webinars if you log into the community. So if you see the link on the right hand side below, this is a link to join the Adyogi community. We'll also be sharing it on the chat box so that you can go head to the Adyogi community right away and start posting your questions, go through the groups that we have already, and make the most of the Adyogi community, and let's grow together. All right. So we are open to questions now. Let's address whatever questions we have been receiving. So, all right. So we have one question. How frequently do we update the audiences in lookalike order-based audiences? So, Shriram, could you take it up?
Sorry, I was on mute. So yeah, all the order database audiences which Pranab talked about, something like repeat purchases. So we keep updating this every week, once every week. So let's say if you're manually doing it normally via Facebook dashboard or Google dashboard, you will have to calculate it and then upload this list onto these dashboards, which is a time-taking process, and it's kind of painstakingly a lot of time goes into it. Now we have simplified that. We look at your data and then we keep updating this information on a weekly basis. We don't do it on a daily basis because it's not going to change that frequently, but we do it on a week-on-week basis.
All right. So we have another very interesting question. It says our CAC is going up in the last 6 months. Are there any features on the Adyogi platform that can help us reduce the CAC? So I think Anshuk, you would be able to take this up.
Thanks, Muskan. Of course, this is a common question we hear from a lot of brands we interact with, that the customer acquisition cost has gone up in the last 3 to 6 months. This is a trend we have seen across many brands. Post iOS 14 impact, which was in 2021 April, we have seen that customer acquisition cost has been steadily going up. There are multiple things which a brand can do, many of those via the Adyogi panel, to help you bring down the acquisition cost. The first I would strongly recommend is to look at where we are spending money. By that I mean, how have you split the budget across the different platforms, specifically Meta and Google. Usually we recommend that if you are in the apparel space, then 30% budget should go into Google. If you are in the health and wellness, food space, then we would recommend around 40 to 50% budget going into Google and the balance into Meta. So go to the Adyogi panel in the platform insights section. See if you are dedicating enough budget to Google. Also check the CPC of your Meta and Google campaigns. Usually we have seen that Meta CPC is usually quite high. Sometimes even 15 rupees, 20 rupees, 25 rupees cost per click, which is, in my opinion, really, really high. Google, when we look at the cost per click, usually it's around 5 rupees, 7 rupees, which means you are able to drive a lot more traffic from Google onto your website. The second thing I would say is, when it comes to Meta and Google, also look at what is your average session duration of the traffic. So not only should Google be driving more traffic, it should also be driving relevant traffic. Now, ROAS may not be the only metric to evaluate Google. Look at your average session duration, look at your assisted ROAS. Both these metrics are also available on the Adyogi panel. The third point I would say is focus on where are you spending money, which means that if you have a large catalog of, let's say, 50 to 100, or maybe even, let's say, 500 products, sometimes we create a selected smart ad from the Adyogi panel and we let Facebook or Google optimize where they are spending money. Increasingly, we have realized that identifying which are your hero categories actually will help you get better returns. So we have a catalog category section in the Adyogi panel, We can check if you're in the apparel space, is my top wear doing better? Is my bottom wear doing better? Which category has better cost to revenue ratio? And then we would recommend going to the Meta and the Google campaigns and creating for those hero categories. So that could be the third lever which can be used to optimize. And maybe a last one, which I'll talk about today, is see what kind of creative has been working out well for you, which you can check from the Creative Insights page on the Adyogi panel. We have seen that when it comes to apparel, smart ads tend to perform really well. When it comes to non-apparel like health and wellness, we have seen video content tend to do really well. So just identifying which creative is working really well can help you push more budgets behind that creative. So we can see if a video is performing well, maybe pause some of your newsfeed ads. If smart ads are performing well, maybe create more smart ads from the Adyogi panel. So these are the 3-4 levers which can be used to bring down CAC. I'll just summarize for the users. One is Meta versus Google distribution. Second is looking at assisted ROAS or average session duration for your Google campaigns. Third could be figuring out which category should you be spending money. And last would be pushing more budget behind the right creatives for your brand. Over to you, Muskan.
I think that sums it up very well. We have another question. So it says we've been asked by our AM to increase the budget on Google. Are there any ways to do the same using the Adyogi platform? So Anshuk, I think again you can take this up.
Yes. So I think similar to what we just spoke about. Now, Google is not only one platform. Usually, we should consider Google as a mix of 4 platforms. It includes search, which is your brand search and non-brand search. It includes YouTube, which is your video action campaigns on YouTube. Performance Max, which I think all of us know about, Pranav spoke about at length today, which is your PLA or shopping ads. And lastly, discovery ads. Now, many people don't know what discovery is. Discovery are these nice carousel and image ads, which you see when you are scrolling on your YouTube feed. So just like you have Facebook carousel, you have YouTube carousel, which is called as discovery ads in the Google's language. Adyogi panel is compatible with all 4 of them. So one very easy way to increase your share on Google is pick up one of your best performing ads on Facebook. It could be your custom ad or your smart ad. And with one click, you can populate this ad into your discovery campaigns. You will see that most likely prefer your hero product or hero category. And you will see automatically a lot more traffic coming on your hero product and hero category via the discovery ads. And the reason, like I said, if the Facebook cost per click is 15 rupees, discovery cost per click is only 2 rupees. And it drives like 6x, 7x better traffic. Second feature, I would also say that go for your custom intent audiences. So Google has this amazing feature that if somebody has searched on google.com, you can show them ads on YouTube and discovery. This is something which is absolutely not there on Meta because nobody searches on Meta. Now Adyogi panel is also compatible with custom intent audiences. So you can create custom intent audiences across your YouTube and discovery. So these are 2 features I talked about which can help you increase your Google share. Of course, we should be scaling PMAX campaign. We should be running brand search campaign. But I have seen a lot of brands we interact with, they don't use the power of YouTube and discovery. Over to you, Muskan.
Right. All right. So we can take one last question. What is the logic behind the new arrival smart ad? I think Sriram, you can take this up.
Yeah, I guess so. This is one question we again and again get from users on what logics do we use for our smart ads. So this has been mentioned in the smart ad section also, but just for this question. So new arrivals, we take whatever products you have added onto your website in the last 30 days. We're also working on getting you more flexibility in that you will see options coming as where you can define the days which you think is new arrivals for a brand which keeps on churning new products on every 7 days. For them, 7 days might be new arrivals. So we are bringing in the functionality where you can define all your smart ad logics, but by default, the new arrivals is 30 days from the day of launch.
All right, noted. So I think we are done with the webinar here. Thank you so much everyone for joining in for our first ever product webinar, Decoding Adyogi platform. If we haven't been able to answer any of your questions and if you wish to communicate with us, then do join the Adyogi community. The link is mentioned in the chat box. So go ahead and head to the Adyogi community. Let's grow together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.